Joining us now is a veteran Minnesota Vikings wide receiver, Adam Thielen, and third-year wide receiver, Justin Jefferson. Can I get a witness and some Love Covenant claps here for maybe the best wide receiving duo in the National Football League? And here they are with us on the Wilf Perch at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. Mr. Adam Thielen, I don't want to say it's controversial, but I do potentially have a little bit of controversy out of the gate. How are you?
I love that.
Good.
I figured you'd be coming in hot.
Well, my intel is that you recorded something this weekend, and somebody said 9th year Fancato, and then you're like, no, 10th year. And then I'm like, well, Spearfish Sammy and the rest of the public relations staff, I mean, they don't make too many, if any, mistakes. So it says 9 Fancato. But this is the controversial part. You were here in 2013, but it was a practice squad year. So technically it's 10, but like per NFL roster rules, it's 9. So which is it, 9 or 10? I say 10.
I say 10.
I mean, according to my league benefits, it's
there
10.
you go.
There we go. Hey,
so
it's all about the pension.
So we're good.
All about the pension.
It's 10 in my book.
What's weird getting into it that way is Justin doesn't know anything about the practice squad.
Exactly. He's like, practice squad.
He might not even know it exists. And Pete, go back to Pete, man, back in his day, they had the taxi squad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just all crazy. So, yeah, so it's 3rd LSU, 9 Fancato, technically speaking. Adam, 24 touchdowns the last 2 years. Beloved JJ, 3,016 receiving yards in his first 2 years with 17 touchdowns, and here they are.
Yeah, and forgot, my getting into camp. This is I just want to get right into the questions for both of you. You being a third, you're both veterans, right? You're being your third year. It's what is it like to have a different voice? Number one, and I'm assuming that gives you a good jolt. It's a different face, different voice. But then they have to unlearn what you knew and learn something new. Meaning that, is it easier for a younger guy to do that, or is it easier for a veteran to do that because you're a veteran, or is it, you've got a decade of routes and names and shifts and motions and formations in your head, and you got to empty all that and learn new. But I mean, first of all, I would assume you guys have to be excited that you have a new face, new voices, and all that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Super exciting. I think just coming off of the last few years of the disappointment of the year, and then just kind of coming in with just new, fresh energy, young, exciting, a very knowledgeable system, scheme, coaches, staff. It's been really fun. The culture here is different. Does that mean you're going to go and win 12 games and win a Super Bowl? No. But does it give you an opportunity to handle adversity, to go out there and put your best foot forward to win those games? Yes. And when you keep stacking bricks, you come out with some excitement. You learn from the tape each day. You have positive energy, whether it's a good practice or a bad practice. You have positive energy. That stuff stacks up, and it's exciting.
And Justin, off Pete's question, it's clear that you're very good. You're one of the best receivers in the NFL, and like I said, 3,016 yards in 2 years. Those are the facts. So, and they stand on their own merit. But there's something with this offense through the organized team activities and working with Kevin and working with Wes and working with Keenan McCardell. You can just tell that you absolutely love, plus an inherent belief in yourself with some of the quotes that you've had of late, where people could look at it and be like, who the hell is he? Better than Devontae in a year, better than Cooper with that ring. But if you read between the lines here, it's a belief in yourself, but also knowing what's coming with this offense. Is that fair?
Very fair. I mean, just seeing what we have been doing in practice, us just going up against the defense and us killing the defense, just with our style of play and just us being the people we are. I mean, it's very exciting. I'm definitely ready for the season. And, I mean, when I hear those people, being doubtful of what I'm saying, I just let them talk, and I'm gonna let my play do the talking.
And see, that's what makes training camp weird, because like when we play Green Bay, if Dantzler is one of the corners, great, he earned it. If Andrew Booth Jr. is outside, great, he earned it. But that's what's weird about training camp, man, and you three who played the game know this better than anybody. I'm watching this over route Saturday with JJ, and it's beautiful. Perfect pass by Kirk. But Dantzler was late, and he blew something. So I'm like, hey, he's JJ. Oh, great, one of our corners got beat. It's like Ed Ingram or somebody gets through the line. I'm like, hey, that's great. Oh, wait, he got by Ed Ingram.
Yeah.
So it's like the weird side of it where for something really good to happen, one of these guys trying to win time probably is getting beat.
Yeah, but I will say, the classic quote, iron sharpens iron, right? Like it is so true, right? You get beat once, but then he beat me on a couple plays that day. So it's that grind, it's that motivation. I think the media nowadays, just with how volatile everything is, and JJ makes a quote, but they don't really read what he actually said, right? Just kind of going back to that.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about JJ is he's going to put the work in to do that. He's not saying right now to this day I'm better than anybody out there. You can't doubt that, blah, blah, blah. He's saying I'm going to be, and I'm striving for that. My goal is that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put the work in to do that. So it's great to be around guys like that, and we have a ton of those guys on this team, which, again, kind of goes back to the culture from the top down.
You got to have the mindset behind the mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to. It's not what you say, but what's behind it. I think my other favorite camp question all the time is each of you give me a defensive back that's shown you something already. Maybe someone off the radar. Could be Peterson, even though he's coming back. He's a little bit long in the tooth. He's actually older than you, right?
We're the same age.
Oh, you guys are the same age.
But he's got more years on me.
Okay.
He came out of college long time before me.
So
it took me 5 years to graduate.
Is there somebody defensively that's shown up that you've taken note of already?
I mean, everybody has been doing bits and pieces of
course.
Great work. Pat P is a vet. He's one of the best cornerbacks. So going up against him in practice every day, it helps me learn. Helps me see things that I don't see from Cam. You know what I'm saying? So because they're two different type of corners, and Pat been in the league for so long. But everybody has been doing great things. Me and Adam are just going to keep sharpening, just like he said, sharpening iron.
And is it to the point where if you see something, you'll tell the corner, and if the corner sees something, they'll I'm assuming Peterson will say, hey, by the way, when you do this, I know you're doing that, and vice versa. Is that conversation? Because you talk about culture. That is the kind of that's what I think where the rubber hits the road with a winning culture is where, you guys are competing for roster spots.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're helping each other out. Are you seeing that? Is that something that, as leaders of this team, I look at both of you as leaders of this team, that you're going to bring and foster in this group?
Yeah, that's been happening every day. I think in between reps, we're jogging back to the huddle. We're like, what coverage was that? What are you doing there?
Right.
Or what was that route? Was that a dagger route? Was that a go ball, spray go? Like, what was that? There's a lot of talk, which I think is great. A little bit inside of you is like, I'm not telling them. but at the end of the day, we're both trying to get to the end
same
goal,
team.
Right?
Yeah.
But JJ, I love how Adam laid it out, because he's like, in a splashy headline culture, okay, 98% of people, most of whom don't get it, they're just going to look at that and be like, oh, okay, cool, it's on. But in the National Football League, you guys are always looking for an edge, and you're the most competitive human beings ever.
Yeah.
So you see some of the headlines involving some of these stories with you. Wouldn't you imagine Jair Alexander, Darius Slay, Marcus Lattimore, three of your first four big-timers that you'll be facing, they're like, it's on now. Okay, it's on now. But you don't care because A, it's taken out of context, or the context is not followed. But B, by the way, you can play too, and your quarterback's good.
Right. I don't really buy into the cornerback situations. It's more me being confident in myself, me being confident in the offense. Me just beating my one-on-ones, and I look for those matchups. I love those matchups because that solidifies me more as one of the top receivers. Going up against those top cornerbacks that other people feel like they're gonna lock me down or do this and that against me. So when I see those matchups, I definitely get jittery just going up against those type of guys and having a game against them also.
Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson on the noon to 3 show at Vikings training camp. Not many more here. They have practice in about an hour. Adam, with you, to a certain extent in 2013, but 2014 with like training camp, and then you start playing full throttle. That's an example. I think the highest end example of what I'm about to bring up with the current Vikings would be Diggs in 2015. I mean, rookie camp, it was unbelievable. And then in training camp, veteran corners, he's still doing his thing, and then doesn't play early. But then in that Broncos game, Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, Bradley Roby. I mean, he put Aqib Talib on skates until he could figure that whole thing out. And Steph's obviously one of the better in the game. Is there anybody now, like wide receivers jumping up and like say Jalen Naylor, in rookie camp or maybe parts of the offseason, seemed to be like he was getting by okay. But are you seeing any of that where somebody on your side of the ball really ahead of the curve?
Yeah, it is a little bit different because we're putting in a whole new system. At that point, even when JJ came in, you could see something different, right? Because we had all been in that system, we knew the system, and then they were coming in and still doing that. Where now we're kind of all in this together. We're all kind of learning this system.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot more reps as ones and twos because we have to learn the system so quickly before the regular season. So there's just not a lot of opportunity, but you see it. You see it. We have a really deep group of receivers, and the deepest I've ever been around.
Wow.
And so that's really exciting. I mean, guys, getting very limited opportunities making plays, and then when you're doing the individual drills and you're doing the routes on air, you can see it that they got a lot of potential. You can see them in the classroom. I mean, you can tell that they get it. They understand the system in a really tough system to learn. So those things are exciting, and excited to see those guys in the preseason because one of my favorite things is watching preseason games and just being able to see guys that maybe didn't get a whole lot of reps in
earn
training
a spot,
camp,
really,
and then earn their spot, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
Love it.
Are you guys more with this system, with this offense that you have? It's in the past we didn't have much of a three-step short underneath type passing game, and watching, assuming we're going to carry on with a lot of what you saw, I think, out in L.A. Is that something else that's exciting for you guys? Is to be able to not just go deep, but to mix it up and to be able to do some things underneath and run after the catch and all open up that part and really expand the route tree, so to speak.
Yeah, very. I mean, just seeing what the Rams did, just picturing us in that offense, seeing the different plays that we can make, seeing what different people getting the ball. It is very exciting for us. We were watching Rams offense all the time.
Yeah.
So just seeing what we can do, and I mean the players that we have is crazy talented. So I'm definitely excited to see what we can do, mixing it up. Going deep, short, and giving Dalvin the ball, of course.
And Justin, whether it's you through your first 2 years, Adam, during your career, but specifically Justin at LSU. High-end football when you played there, man, with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and some badass teams right there. Taking what you want when the adversary knows it's coming. And that happens all the time, every single week in the NFL. But the Rams reference in the Super Bowl, the biggest drives of Stafford, O'Connell, Cup, Billups, the whole thing's lives. The Bengals knew the ball was going the way of Cooper Kupp. Okay, so they're going to cover that thing up because they want to win the Super Bowl. So there were 4 passes to Kupp. They were all completed for 61 yards, and the Rams won the Super Bowl. How hard is it to get what you want with the high-enders, Justin, Adam, Dalvin, whomever, to get what you want when the other guy knows it's coming?
I think that's what's so exciting about this offense is everything looks the same. It acts the same. We're lining up in the same spots, and we're coming off the ball, it all looks the same. So that's, you didn't really realize it when you're watching the Rams, last year, when you're watching them in the playoffs, you're watching the Super Bowl. But then when they started bringing the system here and you start watching the tape, you're like, that's how Cooper
understanding.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. Obviously, he's super talented, and they got great players over there. So, not taking anything from them. But it's just exciting because I feel like we haven't had that here in a long time of things looking the same, playing off each other. And that's the first meeting, the first offensive meeting we had. That's what it talked about, is how we're going to build a system that we can, that the run looks like the pass looks like the run, and short passes look like other short passes, long passes look like other long passes. So it's
week
really
after week after week.
Right.
And I think the other thing that you have to have seen is just how how Coach will take advantage of matchups.
Yeah.
Right. And you saw in the playoff game, it was Cooper Kupp that caught a nice little double post and a wheel route for a touchdown. And then you go to the Super Bowl 2 weeks later when Cincinnati had seen that play a million times. They did the same thing, but it was with OBJ the next time.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm watching that going, oh, okay, all right. Now we got it's here it is, right?
Right.
Here it is. When your matchup is in your favor, it's going to be your day.
Oh, for sure. And I mean. And just
see how excited
and
this
just
kid
over.
gets.
I know. Look how excited I'm getting.
Well, I know. But I mean, he's just picked up with that smile. Adam's going to be 32 in 3 weeks. He's like chill and like boom, pops in. Yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, and that leads me to saying like. Even with me and him, we also have KJ. You know, just we have so many different players that can come out and be in those positions to, run those routes and get the ball. That's why we're so excited to have this offense and have these players on our team. We feel like we have so many great, phenomenal playmakers that can do something with the ball and that can run routes. So just like you said, our receiver core is very deep. Everybody on our receiver team can pretty much run routes or and catch a ball. So just seeing what they did with the Rams last year and seeing what we can possibly do is very, very exciting.
It's going to be great to see one of these two or both of these two will be lined up in the backfield. And then they're going to motion out, and they're going to be looking to see, is this a linebacker or a safety? And if it's a safety, they're going to have this smile on their face knowing this ball is coming to me.
But you mentioned KJ Osborne. Is this third-year KJ the cold-blooded Kane? Or is he strictly a wide receiver? Or is he auditioning for the world's strongest man competition? I mean, what the young man did to his upper body this offseason, I'm like, damn, are we trying to win like an Olympic competition here or try to get 10 touchdowns? He got bigger, man.
Yeah, he's got to go up against those big guys in the middle. He got to, be a blocker sometimes for us. So
well, you built up too. You
a
built
little
your
bit,
upper body a little
bit. You don't see me too much in the inside blocking, but I'm trying to get like KJ a little bit, get a little muscle on my arms. But
you didn't say anything
get
about
like
me getting
that.
bigger.
Well, I was setting it up.
I've been doing extra curls too. I mean, come on.
I was setting it up for this. A, I haven't felt my ribs in 30 years, so I'm the last one to talk about this. But B, in your veteran status, let's put it that way, with your veteran status, I've said you're going to be 32 in 3 weeks a million times. In the offseason, when you start to ramp it up again after chilling out with your family and OTAs, like, do you notice different things, legs a little, do things start to get going a little more slowly, or is it all exactly like it was, say, 9 years ago?
You should see him down there when we try to warm up. He have to do like extra band workouts, extra style. Like, come on, old man, you gotta get it going.
Are you gonna call him Gramps?
He's laying it out there on me right there.
What's up, Gramps? He's got like a beard coming out of his helmet, wearing one of those hats that has a ball on it before he goes to bed.
I will say that I don't feel any different, which is good, because if I ever feel that way, I'll probably retire. But I have to do a lot more pre-practice and a lot more post-practice than I did when I was JJ's age.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I didn't miss a game till year 7. And pretty much until that point, I didn't do anything pre-practice. I didn't do anything post-practice. And then I realized, maybe I am getting a little older. I should probably figure this out and take care of myself so I can, feel good when I'm on the field.
Yeah. And Pete mentioned, Justin, you're in the backfield and say you motion out, or you motion into the backfield, whatever, during any of the games coming up. How badly do you want to throw a touchdown pass? And this might have gone off practices, I swear, the last 2 years, like the end of the pandemic season. You're throwing stuff, and then it never got called. And then last season, same thing. It got called, right?
Yeah.
Once?
Yeah. Twice. Or 3 times, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, you
got smacked both times.
Well, yeah, but I mean.
But KJ's first ever reception was from JJ.
Yes.
Yeah, you were 3 for 3 as a quarterback, right?
I think
I
think no, I don't think I completed one. I had threw one to Adam last year. I think, was it last year?
Yeah, last year.
Because your passer rating might be better than Cousins. You have to look that up, because if it is, you better let him know about that.
Probably so. I need it. Hey,
Need that money then. Like,
right? I was about to say that. They didn't pay me a little extra mo.
But see, you guys are so competitive, man. You refuse to lose at anything you do, and that could be a simple little card game like Go Fish. You ain't gonna lose.
Very.
You just don't want to lose. I'm gonna beat you. Nothing personal. That's just how I'm wired. So you all think, with all due respect, you can throw, you can kick, you can punt, you can run, you can catch. Well, realistically, you can't do all of those things as well or well enough at the very highest level, but you still want to throw, don't you?
Oh, very, very. I mean, I grew up throwing. You know, my brother was a quarterback, so I always wanted to, you know, I looked up to him and wanted to be a quarterback. So ever since I got to high school, I was throwing the ball, you know, just learning from him, the techniques and everything. So when I actually go out here and throw the ball, they're surprised that I'm throwing a spiral, you know, throwing it so deep because, you know, I practiced it so much. But, you know, it's in the mix. You know, hopefully, you know, KO call a couple receiver passes and I get an actual touchdown this year. Hopefully.
You gotta plan that out when he's either coming onto the field beforehand or after practice. You know, where, you know, right in his line of where he's walking in and just start zinging that. And he'll be like, oh, man, hey, JJ can throw, can he? Okay. Yeah, Coach, I'm good. Let's go.
Adam, last one. Bunch formations have been around in the National Football League for decades. I don't know how many we've run the last X amount of years. We've run them. We've two-man stack whole thing. And I'm certainly not asking you, are you guys going to run a ton of bunch sets every single game? But I've seen a fair amount in the early stages of training camp and at OTAs, more so than I've seen in a long time. So say it's the triangle bit. Somebody up top, let's say Irv up top, JJ left, you right, whatever, whomever up top. What are the advantages you can create offensively, beginning with Adam, then Justin, we'll say goodbye, with those bunched sets?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, again, what we just talked about, making everything look the same, act the same, run, pass, right? So when you're in the run game, you want to be in those bunch sets. You want to be in tight formations so you can block the safeties. You can get in there. You can get everybody blocked up. You know, when you're in wide formations, it's tough to get in there and get the safeties blocked and really turn Delvin from a 10-yard run to a touchdown. Mm-hmm. So now you can make that look the same as the pass game. So if you're doing those bunch sets, you're doing those pack sets where you're kind of all together, receivers are all together. They're not going to tell. They're not going to have any tells to say that this is a run play or a pass play. Right. So I think that's kind of where it stems from. Obviously, there's a lot more detail that goes into it than that, but that's kind of where it starts.
Anything to add to that?
I mean, he pretty much said it all, but I mean, it's so much that we can do, especially in this offense. You know, we can motion into a bunch or we can motion out of a bunch. You know, we can do so many things to make it look the same. And just like you said, we can either run or pass it off that. And that's what we've really been focusing on, you know, making everything look the same, just so the defense, you know, get a little confused or not sure if it's a run, pass. And, I mean, you know, motioning it, we can also, you know, tell if it's a zone, man. It's just so many things that we can read and go off of it.
So, in closing, we're going to be one of those cool teams that runs these sneaky pick routes that the refs aren't good enough to pick up on, and there goes somebody down the middle of the field uncovered. That's not what either one of you are saying. That's what I'm saying, and you're both wonderful young men. Have a great practice today with the pads on, and go out there and do your thing. God bless both of you in immense, wonderful ways, and I can't wait to call your games. Good seeing you, Adam.
Appreciate you guys.
An early happy birthday. JJ, go get them.
Yes, sir.
Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. Thank you, Sam Newton. Thank you, Minnesota Vikings, and we'll be right back.